What up, y'all? This is Mike Swagger, aka the one. You already know the deal, and I got my brother from another mother, K-Trey, with us today.
What's the word?
Yes. What's the word? So today, me and K-Trey are gonna be talking. Y'all don't know K-Trey. This is my engineer, longtime friend. Went to college with him. On the camera right here. So my longtime friend, and I went to college with him right here at MSJC in San Jacinto. Done a lot of projects together, collaborated together, and definitely a person that's had a great influence on different things that I've done in my sound, as far as my beats and things like that go, helping shape some of those beats. And, we've definitely done a lot of cool things in music together, a lot of shows, and came up and, performances and things like that. So, he's seen me grow, I've seen him grow. So I want to ask him some questions as well as he's going to ask me some questions so you guys can get to know some of the people that I've been working with, So we're gonna go ahead and kick it off, and I'm gonna go ahead and check the live, make sure we good, make sure it's sounding good. Let me see. Let's go ahead and check that audio. Turn on my device. Oh yeah. Okay, there we go. Yes, I love it. Audio sounding good. Earlier I did the damn live and we was performing and the audio was trash. So but I'm glad it sounds good right now. We got the audio guy in the room, that's why. He's the audio guy. I did some audio, but I was like, hold on, so let me just call the audio guy and make sure it sound right, okay? You know what I mean? Like, I rap, that's what I do. So I rap. And sing and dance, you know what I mean? Like, okay. So we're gonna go ahead and get it kicking off. We're gonna kick it off right now. I'm gonna start with some questions. I'm gonna ask K-Trey. We're just gonna go back and forth and then kind of like banter for y'all. You know what I mean? Like, so.
It kind of takes us down memory lane too. So.
Right. Yeah.
So there's gonna be certain questions that we're gonna ask each other where we're like,
right.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I remember that shit. Right. I feel it. Okay. So, let's start with your origin, K-Trey. Where'd your whole journey begin? Like, take us back to, where you started, where'd the music start? Like, where'd you start feeling like, hey, look, this is something that I want to do?
So the music thing's always been there, like ever since I was a kid and stuff like that. So,
right.
Like, my mom used to slap headphones on me to just get me to shut up. So, to like, where I was like, this is what I want to do. From making beats, you know what I mean? I have beats and stuff like that I'll like just play around and let people listen to. And
how'd you start your first beat? Like, where'd you do your first beat on? Like,
shit, fucking a keyboard. It was just like a regular keyboard that I had that we used to record, but it used to have a metronome, but it wasn't something that I can sequence. I couldn't put it in loops. It's either once you press record, you got to play all the way through, stop when you got to stop. Then you can add another channel and play all the way through. Once you mess up, you gotta like start all over.
Man.
So it wasn't like I can play like a 4-bar loop and just
so you had to be good. Like you had to know like your timing and like you really be in tune with.
Well, the thing is a lot of the beats that I was making there wasn't on time because I was playing it for so long.
Right.
And if I messed up and it was a slight little mistake, I'm like, oh no, I'm gonna move past that.
Okay.
But from that taught me how to track out.
Right.
So once I started learning how to track out with that keyboard and stuff, that's when I was kind of like, well, how does everybody? It shouldn't be this hard in the studio.
Right.
Like, why is it like this hard? For me to make a beat or to make a song, and that's when I met one of my boys, and he kind of put me on the actual studio recording. I was making beats for him.
Right.
And then that's when I was like, I can. This is what I want to do.
Right.
I can make beats. I'm learning how to record, and now I just start writing my own raps and. He was kind of showing me how to like, hey, this is how you make them into CDs, and this is how like.
And where was that at? Like, what?
That was in Long Beach.
That was in Long Beach. Okay. Yes, definitely. We met out here, so I was wondering, like, okay, I know you had talked about Long Beach and stuff like that, and so that's where your and that's how your sound got shaped. Is just out there.
That's what really got me to the point where I was like, I want to pursue music. You know, I still didn't have the knowledge of what to do.
Right.
And that wasn't actually until I met you.
Right.
You know what I mean? So then it was just kind of like, oh, I want to do music, but I was still mixed up in the streets. So I was kind of like balancing both, and I wasn't thinking like I was gonna make it famous or anything like that. I was just thinking like this is just what I want to do, you know.
Hey man, I'm glad. Listen, this is the first time I'm hearing that. You know what I'm saying? But I'm glad that I was able to. I'm seriously, I'm glad that I was able to get you into more of the business mind. You know what I mean? Like absolutely, of this industry, and we've done a lot of cool things. So I appreciate that.
I used to like sell my music and sell beats and meet people and do everything like that. But since I was like balancing both, I was the type of person who was like, well, if I don't know you, I ain't talking to you.
Right.
You know what I mean? And if you're talented and I got to know you, then that's one thing. But it was like, if I don't know you, I'm not talking to you.
Right.
And what you got me to do is like, bro, you never know. If you don't talk to that person, that might be the one that fucking helps you out in the situations. Right. And it broke, not fear, but it broke the curse of me just sitting there and just watching everybody and waiting for someone to talk to me.
Right.
I was actually shaking hands with people, meeting people, and
right.
met a lot of people that way.
Right, right.
So.
I'm definitely glad about that, and I know we met through a mutual. We did go to the same college, but we met through the Him at Radio situation.
Got to know each other better.
Yeah. And so we actually got brought together, and there was a radio station out here named Him at Radio, and he kind of brought us together. It was like, hey, you guys go to the same school, and you guys should work together and everything like that. And I was like, wait, I'm Mike Swagger. This is Mike who? Wait, definitely one of the best people I've ever worked with. Always there, show up, ready to work. And the fact that I didn't know that. I mean, I know I told you about like going out there, but like the way you have shaped that now and really gone after that and making sure that you have a presence at whatever show you go to is amazing, man. You walk into any show, and that's how we do. We walk into any show like we own it. Right?
Let me see what show we got here.
So it's like,
so how did your cultural like background influence your music? So it's like same question. You know what I mean?
My cultural background, I would say like, cause I was born in LA, South Central, but that wasn't my cultural background, right? Okay. You know what I mean? Like, so a lot of people confuse it, like when they're like, oh, you ain't from LA, woo woo. First of all, I was born in Martin Luther King Hospital, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, I was in LA till, I was about 10 years old, back and forth with my parents, you know what I mean? Everything like that. Still there. My aunties, my brother, cousins, sister, they're all over there still, you know what I mean? So, but that didn't shape that wasn't my cultural background, we moved to Moreno Valley, Riverside, everything like that. My grandmother raised us, so she was she was an R&B singer herself. So she actually raised us. She didn't want us listening to none of the gangster rap and all that stuff.
What was her name? Was she like in the industry or was she
no, she was definitely in the industry. Verna Williams, Wrong Number Right Girl was the name of the song, and she was actually Puff Daddy tried to sign her back in the day. Like
before the parties.
Right, before the parties, hopefully. but he tried to sign her back in the day as a songwriter, right? You know what I mean? And so the first song I actually did, she called her old manager in New York, and she says, hey, I got a grandson that wants to record, like, where did you have anybody, And so he gives us this guy named Chris Harris that was in Moreno Valley, and that's when I recorded my first song. But as far as my cultural background, my grandma didn't let us listen to any like, a gangster rap or anything like that. So I didn't hear no gangster rap till I was like 13, you know what I mean? Like I heard people rapping it, but so we listened to stuff like Will Smith, you know what I mean? Like R&B, like Keith Sweat, Usher, things like that. You know what I mean? We were allowed to listen to pop and R&B. That's what we had. So, flash forward, I started listening to some hip hop as I get, older, you know what I mean? Like I started listening to my sister and brother start showing me a little bit more and more. We started getting into the little gangster rap.
How old were you around this time?
I would say I was like 13, 14 years old.
Okay.
And then like Eminem came out, and like I loved that because it was funny. You know what I mean? Like, and so it was like my cultural background. I would say for music, it was just so diverse, and I feel like that's what's been making me a contemporary artist.
Nice.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, knowing that though, it does explain a lot, like on how your sound. You have those aggressive tracks that you have,
right?
But then it's easy for you to make a song that's not so aggressive, neither.
Right?
You know what I mean?
Right.
So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I like bouncing. They say I'm a contemporary artist, which is amazing. Having that that diverse to I used to listen to rock. I had a lot of white friends, a lot of black friends, a lot of Mexican friends, a lot of Asian. Well, I don't want to say a lot of Asian friends. I'd be capping. Like, I didn't hang out with that many Asians. My brother did, but anyway. But having that diversity in the music, to listen to rock and roll, EDM, pop, country, like all that stuff, definitely helps when you're a songwriter. So let me see. Where was the moment growing up when you knew music was just something it was like your call? Well, we kind of touched on that, right? Your calling. Mm-hmm. Who were some of the sonic architects that helped shape the producer you are today?
Like in the industry, or just influences that are like my peers, or both?
I would say both.
Well, okay, so obviously growing up in Long Beach, it was the whole like Dre, Dog Pound, Compton, right. Long Beach, the whole thing, so a lot of that was kind of like, okay, they're talking about where I'm coming from and what I see. So, I mean, did it play a big part? Not really. I mean, I did, have those influences like Dre or Snoop or something like that. Mm-hmm. People in that game at the time of the West Coast who I wanted to meet, but a lot with my peers were the ones that kind of shaped me. And you said that what, like, which one?
Yeah, the producers like that helped shape your sound, like the producers that you listen to. Like, I can give you artists that I've listened to. You know what I mean? Like what producers have pushed you. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, yeah. So obviously like Dre, Warren G, mm-hmm. and stuff like that.
What about Dre? Tell me what about Dre that has helped shape your sound?
It was the kicks for me, and the simple rhythm of the boom, snap, boom, snap, boom,
right,
snap, boom, dun, dun, dun,
right. Okay, yeah.
Had that step, but then Warren G kind of had that the G funk to it, so it had the gangster with the smoothness to it, and obviously Nate Dogg and everybody that did the thing. I mean, Battle Cat for sure.
Right.
Like Battle Cat was that motherfucker that had
that.
He had those claps in the beats. That
what it was for me about Dre though? It was always that little sound that he had in there. You know what I mean? And I feel like as an artist, that's what I love about, like picking my beats.
The little bell that you'll hear, like, bling.
It'd be like one time in the beat, but you listen to the song, you're like, ooh, like, you know what I mean? Yeah.
But I mean, there's some of my peers too that played a part. Because the thing with me was, when I see people in the industry, I always looked at it, well, they got it, I don't.
Right.
So if I can make beats like that sounds like theirs with the little that I got, then I'm doing something right. Okay. Then those people that I'll meet that had other different things that they made beats on, with a keyboard or a DAW system or anything like that, and I'll follow them, like, okay, well, how do you use this? What is this? What is that called? Or, how do you use this?
Right.
And they will make beats that were like real West Coast status. So obviously similar to like the Dre and Warren G type of sound. But then they kind of had those like beats that were, because around that time, you had the Yin Yang Twins, and a lot of the South was coming in to play, where we're all bumping in the West Coast.
Right.
So he had those type of beats too.
Okay.
So if everybody right now on the West Coast is starting to listen to like the down south music, let me get a couple of those beats, and that kind of shifted from me making like West Coast Dr. Dre songs to kind of more of turn up kind of music and stuff, and making beats like that.
So what I'm hearing K-Trey say is, essentially, as a producer, he did the same thing I'm doing. I did as an artist, right? You know what I mean? Like, because he had to get his beats out there, right? You know what I'm saying? You had to get your beats out there, so you had to change them up. So now you're able to do something a little bit different, right?
Yeah, and it was more what people are looking for, because it's like nowadays. Now, if you had a beat that sounded like the Migos are on it, they want it.
Right.
It's just it's more diluted now, because everybody's following, no one's leading.
What's your opinion on DJ Mustard?
DJ Mustard with the West Coast music?
Yeah, right. What's your opinion on that style of music? Like, you know what I mean? I don't know.
It's dope. Like, it has that West Coast roots to it.
Right.
I mean, even if it didn't, it doesn't mean it's not West Coast, because he's from the West Coast. So
Right.
You can't say that the West Coast is technically based on that sound.
Right.
It does fall into, I mean, 51, 52 years, of just hip hop in general.
Right.
So within those years, in that generation of time where the West Coast was popping,
yes,
that was the sound that we're having, but we're not necessarily dedicated to that sound.
Right.
So he's from the West Coast doesn't make it where it's not a West Coast producer. But his music does set the trend of different types of sounds.
Right.
You know, he's universal when it comes down to it, but you still hear that West Coast in there.
Right,
you still hear that in there.
So yeah, absolutely. I feel like he used the West Coast tastefully with also like making his own way. You know what I mean? Like, and a lot of people all over the world, you know what I mean, use, you know, DJ Mustard sound. So if he is a West Coast artist, regardless if everybody took that sound, then that's a West Coast sound. You know what I mean? Like,
and you know what I mean, just real quick to touch on it, a lot of that kind of breaks down to a part of like audio technology. So back in the day when Dre and them were making those West Coast beats, you know, they're using like 90 beats per minute, 100 beats per minute, 85 beats per minute. So it's just a simple you know, that pace. At somewhere in the change of history, I don't know if it was Soulja Boy or who, but when it started coming down to these young kids like the New Boys and all them that were coming out that were making their own beats, you can tell that, I can't say they didn't know how to make beats because they made the beats, but they didn't understand the time signature of beats.
They didn't know what they really did.
So when they were making their beats, you know, when you load up a DAW, it says 120 beats per minute or 150 beats per minute. You're not adjusting it. You just you're not hearing that metronome. You're just making the beat till it sounds like it's kind of slow. But with that speed going, you'll have that boom 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 boom, boom like that roll will be a little different now when you're making that hit. You know, the time signature is going quick enough. So now when you hear that, it created a new sound when they were making not just like West Coast beats, but when they were making their beats. So when you had a drum roll that will roll over a certain way, like, damn, how'd you get it to go doom doom doom, like the way it broke down, like, damn, that's dope. Or, you know, that a lot of that had to do with typing the signature. So nowadays with Mustard, what he's doing, it's a thing now. People know, hey, we set that beat to 150, or you know, I want a beat like that's grooving. I want it set to 180, you know, 200. Like that shit's crazy outrageous for a hip hop beat. But what it is that time signature is going so fast, but your kick and snare placement are spaced out. So now, instead of it falling on every 1 and 3, it's now falling on every 1 and 16 or every 1 and 8 or something like that. So now the beat sounds slow, but it's actually playing quick. And
see, that's why I rock with this guy. You know what I mean? He's into the science of it. You know what I mean? And you know, you can't just go out there and just make beats and, you know, and I mean, throw, you know, stuff at the wall and hope it stick. You know what I mean? It happens. We said that at the same time. It happens. You know what I mean? But at the same time, you know, it is good to know your craft and study your craft. So
let me see, I think it's on me, right? Let me see.
This is artist on artist questions. Let's get it.
So the importance of
check the audio, make sure
the representing of your heritage in your work.
Representing my heritage, I would feel like that's just like my family. You know what I mean? And my family, I come from a long line of teachers, you know what I mean? Also, you know, artists and stuff like that, like my grandma's has said, but, you know, really people who were, you know, educated and, you know, like to teach and everything. And I feel like I do that in my music in some ways. And, you know, just representing for, you know, my family.
Because we did kind of talk about like, that part of your family and the heritage of it. So I mean, if you can, I'll just ask you the other one where it says collaborating with artists from different cultures. That one's a good one because it's like we know your heritage, we you know, I mean, what made you or what inspired you from working with different cultures. You know what I mean? So now it is someone that does rock, right. You or you're going to them, you know. So kind of touch on that.
I mean, I haven't done too many crazy collaborations. I'm not gonna lie. Like I haven't
like outside the genre.
Right. No, I mean, like I've done like different songs, but like not a lot of collaborations, right? So like I've done hip hop rock songs. I've done, you know, hip hop pop, hip hop EDM, you know, all that stuff. EDM, right. You know, but like I haven't collaborated with a lot of people. Now, what I have done is on shows I've collaborated with rock artists, right? You know what I mean? Like, so, you know, I was with a band in San Diego where they played my song 951. You know, this is before I ever dropped my album. And, you know, so I had a song called 951 that was going crazy. And they were like, hey, let's play this in San Diego, and I played with Pato Bonton. So it was and that's the beauty about like the music being able to be contemporary and go everywhere, is because I was on stage with a rock band, and then you had a reggae artist that was huge right after.
Yeah.
Right? So being able to move around like that is amazing, because they're like, hey, look, and the rock band played the song. They were like, hey, we're gonna have you up for one song. We're gonna play. We love that song, and so we're gonna jam it. You don't need to play a track or anything like that. We're gonna play it. We're gonna jam it, and then Pato Bonton's gonna be on there, and he's the song, the reggae artist who did the song "Legalize It."
Yeah, yeah.
Right, and so that was the second time I performed with him. I performed with him as well in Kushstock, and that was 2017. But the great thing about that is being able to have a rock band play it and being able to be versatile on stage, essentially.
I know this is not in the question, or maybe it is, or it's somewhere in here, but do you remember the first song we done together? Because I fucking don't.
I think the first song.
Can we cuss? I can cuss.
Yeah, it's fine. Well, I mean, hey, listen, they'll bleep it out. I have, hey Joel, make sure you bleep that out, all right?
We'll definitely try not to.
And I'm gonna turn down this audio real quick. Let me check this audio because we're getting a little loud, and I think it's probably a little heavy.
I definitely, I mean, I can hold back, but it might.
Yeah,
be,
yeah. Let's hold back a little bit, but we'll have the guy. We'll have the editors cut that. Make sure you bleep that. By the way.
What about rolling up? Is that no? This is just not.
No. No, not for this crowd.
Not like this.
I'll do right here.
It's like, what is he doing over there?
Roll it down here, roll it down here, roll it down here. You know what I mean? Hey, look, we'll do your podcast, and that's fine. I'll do that.
Yeah.
We'll do your podcast next.
So like the first, like, what's the first song we done together, bro? It wasn't the one that we did with Swag. Was it White Boy Swag?
White Boy Swag. I know. Oh my God, I forgot about White Boy Swag. If y'all know about White Boy Swag, man, that was my little homie. He was supposed to be on Tear the Roof Off, and that was the only person that I was like, okay, you can have the name Swag. Did he? Yeah, you know, he was the only other person I was like, yeah, you can have Swag. It was like Mike Swag, and we was all him at radio. It was K-Trey, Mike K-Trey, but K-Trey, White Boy Swag, Mike Swagger. City Boy Weirdo, you know what I mean? Like, I think that was his name. Something like that. And then yeah, man, it was cool. We had the hooligans, you know what I mean? Like, we had a bunch of people. You know what I mean? We had a crew, man. It was crazy.
Yeah, because we did shows together. We never really did songs together. And then I think we all linked up one time, and then we just did that song.
We did. It was in the club.
Yeah.
Right. We did in the club.
But then, speaking of club, I remember it was a show.
Right.
That you had going on, and I don't know what happened, but you didn't have someone to do your hype man.
Right,
you know what I mean? And you're like, do you know the songs? I go, barely. You know,
right.
But it's not hard to hype somebody up.
Right.
And you're like, all right, bro, we're gonna give you a mic, and I'm gonna trust you on this because I know how you perform. So he goes, I'm gonna trust you on this, and fucking, but it came to a point where we did the show. And I was just in the back. I didn't stand on stage. I didn't ask for anything. I just stood in the back. And I was just hyping him up. And I was just repeating after everything he said.
Right.
You're like, Mike Swagger, a.k.a. the one. I go, put your hands up, Mike Swagger, a.k.a. the one. And the beat would drop, and he would just start rapping. And at the end of it, he was like, bro, that was dope.
Right.
I had people standing next to me, and they're like, you ain't going to go on stage? I'm like, no, I don't even know the songs.
Right.
I go, I don't know the songs.
Yeah.
I'll be sitting there on stage.
I think I remember that. I think that was that was in Riverside, right?
I think so. It was like Bossy's event.
Right. Okay. We used to tear events up, man. I don't know where everybody at now.
We're doing shows like every weekend, like 3 times a week, bro. It was Friday, Saturday, then maybe a Thursday or something like that. Thursday, Friday, Saturday or something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
every week, bro.
I know. See, we never did the whole big social media thing, but we were just out there known the whole time. You know what I mean? Now we doing the social media thing. We about to show y'all why we're known the way we are.
Because if we were documenting it, then we won't be doing this. We'll have other people doing it for us.
Oh yeah, you know what I mean? Absolutely.
They'll be like, hey,
and we have some of that. We're gonna give out some of that documentation. Like, I have a hard drive with all the stuff in the back in the day. You have a lot of stuff, and so we're gonna show everything that we've done because it deserved to be seen. Even my social media guys, I was like,
you just see what we got and just tell the story in between them.
My social media guy was like, I said, well, we never really went viral. He was like, you guys deserve that, like, for what you guys have done. So, is it on me?
Yeah.
Okay.
I kind of asked like 3 on you.
Right. All right. Cool. So we'll run a couple with you. Okay. So, Well, actually, we're kind of getting into the collaborations, but I'll ask you a couple solo questions. Then we're gonna get into our collaborations. Okay, so when you step into the studio, what's the first thing you do to lock in that good frequency zone? Right? Everything you've been asking me to do right now?
No. Because like,
you've been asking me the whole time, like, can I lock in my good frequency?
Nah, bro, because when I walk into the studio, I'm looking at the engineer, you know?
Yeah.
I'm like, play something for me, you know? And it doesn't matter if I'm coming in as an artist or if I'm coming in to record somebody. Like,
right.
You know what I mean? I go in there and I don't care about the equipment. You know what I mean? I've seen people work off of just a computer screen, computer interface, microphone, headphones. You know what I mean? I've seen that. You know? Right. So it's like when I go into the studio and I see all the equipment, okay, I get intrigued because I'm like, oh, I want to touch it. You know, but it's when I'm coming to record or something like that, my first thing that's going to get me in the vibe is the engineer. Not if he's cool, not if he's nice, because that's part of the job description. You know, we're paying you, so just be nice and accept everything. You know, just let me do my job, kind of thing.
Right.
But when I say I look at the engineer, I will look at certain mixes they'll do, or play a song that you did before here. You know, or show me your last session if you know what songs or whatever, so I can kind of hear your quality. So I'm not listening for the quality because I'm assuming it's gonna sound good because I already heard about you and this is why I'm here. Right. So all that's already taken care of. So when I go in, what I'm looking for is how he mixes. You know, there's no really wrong way of mixing, but do you work the hard way and are you able to explain what you're doing?
Right.
You know what I mean? Because you can have the money to have this super equipment and know how to use Pro Tools and know how to do this. Right. But if I explain to you like, how like let's break it down again.
Let's break it down. We're about to break it down again. All right.
Break it down again. So if I see you with the tracks and you pull up this session and I'm listening to it and I see on this one track you got all these little slices and gaps into this just one track. It's like everything's like chopped and gapped out.
Right.
I'm gonna ask him, hey, why do you do that? You know what I mean? And now if he explains to me, oh, I do it so it takes out the when you're rapping, you know, all the breaths, right? And now I'm like, well, you know, there's an easier way to do that. You know. Now, they should be able to explain why they do it. Now, if I explain something there's an easy way, you know, you can use a gate and set it up this way so you can take out those breaths. You know, then, you know, they're going to oh, shit. Oh, excuse me. That's some knowledge I didn't know. So instead of me spending all that time chopping it, I can just set my gate up and it'll just do it for me. Right. You know? And so they'll, like, look at it like, okay, this is some good knowledge. Now, if I ask you, hey, why do you do that? And you're just like, oh, it sounds good, you know. It makes the vocal a lot like clearer. Like, but why do you do it? You know, I mean, you're chopping out these pieces for a reason. Why? Why are you doing it? You know, well, it just you know, the vocal, you know, it sounds better instead of just saying, well, I'm taking out those breaths. Right. You know what I mean?
So I mean, yeah, because you don't always have to take the breaths out of it. It's like actually, when I was recording on the last album, the producer was telling me to leave him in. He actually made me do it a little bit more.
It sounds more authentic.
Right.
It sounds like you're really speaking to it. Right. Now, if you hear it, like, because me, I have a bad habit of a lot when I rap. Right. So what I do, instead of chopping them all out, because I put the gate. So the gate you can adjust on how much frequency you let in. You know, so if I made it a hard cut, I can take those breaths out just like if I was chopping it out. Got it. But I don't want them out completely. I just kind of let that gate open up slowly. So you still hear the breath, but it's not every time I did it, it's more. Every time I did it.
Like you need some oxygen.
Now you're hearing the, because it's fading in. It's not just
okay.
It's,
Right.
So now you can still hear the breath, you know, and now it makes the vocal sound a lot more clear. You know, I'm not chopping it. It's like when people say when you're making beats, you're quantizing everything. Right. Sometimes you don't want to quantize everything. So it feels like if I was gonna make a beat that was digital that sounded like a live band, I'm not quantizing anything. Got it.
Okay. Let me check that audio health. Audio health looking good. I was like, what is that went off? I don't know. Something went off over there. It must have been my phone tripping. All right, we good. Okay, so I'm going to ask you another question since you asked me two back to back. Okay, so, and this is a good question because, you know, I'm doing vibrations and everything. We didn't get to work on vibrations together. You know, I worked on that with another producer. However, you know, we've done a lot of cool work. So,
I mean, we did do the dubstep EDM version.
Oh yeah, we did work on vibrations together. We got the Mariah Carey version. Yeah, absolutely, Mariah Carey and Lotto version. So we'll play that for you guys eventually. But I know I'm gonna get that out to DJ Gibby as well. And we just mixed it with Miami Will Smith.
That one, the same one?
Yeah, no, not that one, but I'm saying vibrations. We just broke that down and like put the vocals to Miami Will Smith. Okay. Bro, you're gonna have to do that in the studio. It sounds dope. It sounds dope. Miami Will Smith, like
we're just tripping out on how we did the first time.
Right? Yeah, like okay, so
make this a Rasta style beat. You know what I mean?
Right? You know what I'm saying? Like
that's what we're doing. We're just changing.
Yeah, we're just changing it. Right? You were changing a lot of stuff, but yeah, y'all gonna get the Miami version too.
Let's not get carried away.
Yeah.
Let's do that track here.
They getting the Miami version.
Like, I could do a rock version. So
right?
They could do this.
Hey, look, whatever you got to do. You know what I mean? Like that's what they did with Kendrick's song, but Not Like Us. They put that to everything. You know what I mean? Like I
brought that on TikTok.
Right?
You know, it go viral because it's this song mixed with your song. And
absolutely. So you doing the Miami version? Did we hear it here first?
This ain't no picture.
That's what I'm trying to get you to say it on TV. Okay, so all right, so are you more of a spiritual or Are you more spiritual or scientific when it comes to production, or is it just a feeling for you?
Dang, that's tough because at first, before everything, it used to be like a feeling thing. You know, it used to be something that just came, you know. But after
no Diddy. Sorry, I think. Okay, no Diddy. Hey, you gotta say no Diddy on this.
It just came out. You know, I just came. No. It used to be a feeling for sure.
Right.
But once I started getting the knowledge of it and kind of really understanding stuff, it did become a real scientific thing for me.
Right.
You know what I mean? The audio technology part of it. You know what I mean? That's signal flow and just all the little technical parts of just hardwiring. Like I said, signal flow. The 5 points of audio,
right?
Know, so it really became real scientific. It made sense from the stuff that I was just playing out of feeling, and yeah, it's very scientific for me.
Right.
Like so like I said, there's no wrong way,
right?
But
you're more focused on. It's not like, okay, well, I need to get in there to release this feeling. It's like, hey, look, you know what I mean? I'm going to go in there, I'm going to put some stuff together, but I'm going to make sure it's right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I'm going to go off of your feeling.
Right. That, okay. Yeah, so, I get that.
So you come to me and you tell me, hey, I want a beat that sounds like this artist or whatever like that. I will let you know. I'm like, all right, this is what I'm going to do, but I'm not going to make it sound exactly like that because then if that's the case, you might as well just sample it.
So you like the artist to bring you the magic, like the feeling, and then you create what they're feeling.
Yeah, because I mean, other than that, for myself,
right? For
myself, it's more feeling.
Right.
You know what I mean? Creating it for myself is more feeling. But a lot of the times when I'm doing that, I still get fixated on the science around it. So for me, doing it out of feeling for myself, I like the song, I enjoy the song, but something about the science about it, I feel that I need to be working with somebody else.
Right.
You know.
So you just you feel like it just becomes too technical.
Too technical for myself. Anybody else is like, I'm helping you out. So it's like, I don't know. It's like even with videos, when I come to film somebody else's videos, they're way better than I film my own.
Right. Wow. Wow, man. Hey, man, you just got to keep a studio open then. Yeah.
Like my videos look like they're just homemade done.
Right.
Which they are.
Right.
When I do videos for other people, it's homemade done.
Yeah.
Pretty much. And, you know, I got a camera that works. I got some lights. You know, I got everything that I can do for your video that I can do for my video. But
yeah.
Your videos look better than mine. You know, like you know, generally speaking, the people, the videos that I do for them is like just way better.
Right. You just got that producer spirit, bro. Like you know what I mean?
I get more into it and more technical when it comes to other people.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's like, oh, I want to show them that I can do this.
Right.
No one's gonna do this. Well, let me put this into it. So now when you get your video or your song and stuff, you're gonna be like, oh, that's dope.
Right.
How come you don't do stuff like that for yourself? I don't know, because I know I can do it.
Yeah.
But I don't do it either.
I feel that. No, I'm the same way when it comes to like writing. You know what I mean? Like I always want to I want to impress the producer. Like so when I go in, like you know, I'm writing something like I'm putting a little Easter eggs in there to make them like laugh or you know what I mean? Like oh this nigga fire. You know what I mean? Like you know what I mean? Like you know and you know certain riffs and things like that. So it's like you know even though I'm doing it as a feeling, like I'm also you know in a technical sense. I want to impress the producer. You know what I mean? Like, because when I first started rapping, like, it wasn't good. I know it's just come out like boom, 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 boom. You know what I mean? Like, and so, ever since then, like, recording with like people like, Jesse and yourself and different people, I've always wanted to impress, when they hear it. If I hear them laugh or like, oh man, that was really good, that's when I know it's really good.
Because that's what makes the fun in the studio, the competition of it. If I wrote a verse and you're like, ooh, so now it's gonna make you want to write something that's gonna kind of match or be better than what I wrote. And then actually, when we're finally done, we put the song together and it's like, damn, both you guys killed it.
Right.
We bounced off of each other, and that's always a good thing. If you're in a studio and you're just like,
Right. Yeah.
So.
Absolutely.
I mean, not talking about what we were talking about earlier.
Because nobody, people have seen me write. Trust me, you know what I mean. Like, probably my
right. There's paper with lyrics on there.
There's perfect. No, I, you know what? I actually do have still I have a fucking shit ton. Excuse me, my bad. This is my show. I gotta not be cussing. But I do have a suitcase full of my old lyrics.
Are you willing to sell them?
No, but I thought about going through them on camera and just reading some. I mean, I have a suitcase of like stuff that like from my old like stuff that I lost on old computers that I'll never find. You know what I mean? Like,
hey, I got this hook right here that I have for us.
Bro, I got stacks of that stuff. You know what I mean? Like,
songs that you never did.
And then now I just do my freestyle writing on or my writing on like Vlaco. You know what I mean? Like like or BandLab, whatever. Like I'll get a beat and I'll just freestyle write on it.
I don't even do it no more, bro.
Yeah,
I stopped writing and everything. Like I literally will sit in the studio and just repeat it over and over and over in my head. Part for like 30 minutes to an hour, and there goes my verse. Right. Once I record it, forget it. And once I forget it, I use that recording to remember it.
Right. Man, I gotta write, man. I gotta, my good stuff. I gotta write it.
But I just stopped doing it because it's just too many times where the phone got broken or the paper got wet or the paper got lost.
I use Google Docs.
See, bro,
I use Google Docs because, like, wherever you are, you could always get to it. You know what I mean? Whether it's on your phone, your tablet, you know what I mean? Like, you got a computer, whatever, it don't go away. You know what I mean? It's a cloud. So.
See, and knowing me, I don't get it twisted. When it comes to the audio engineering and stuff like that, I be doing some stuff.
Right.
I can figure out a problem real quick if there's just like what the heck is going on.
Right.
But you talking about, hey, go to Microsoft Word and type it out. I'm like, dude, how you get there?
Right.
Every time I download and I lose access, it's asking
I'm gonna have to show him
me to put in a number.
Right. I'm gonna have to show him how to use Google Docs. This saved me because I got tired of like writing on pads and it's exactly what he was talking about. Like having all these pads and going through them trying to find lyrics. And I was so against typing on the phone for a long time. I was like, no, I ain't typing no damn lyrics on the phone. And I eventually just went to Google Docs and I was like, okay.
That leaves a lot of work for the engineer too.
Right.
I mean, I'm not going to do it because obviously the mic here, but that gives bad frequency to the mic. So if you're sitting here with the phone on the microphone, you're like, you're leaving a major job for the engineer to get that out of the mic.
Well, he's charging $50 an hour, so or 100. Some places charging 100.
And that's why you hear a lot of vocals that sound like. I
didn't know that though.
They put the high pass filter in it, so they're just like, well, since everything's already high passed with the phone being there, you put your vocals.
I didn't even know that the phones did that though. Mm-hmm. Oh wow.
I mean, I'm sure there's mics now. They're kind of
right. And I'm sure they're used to it by now. Like, okay, people use their phones, so I'm sure they have some kind of.
I mean, have you ever just been doing anything where your mic was sitting too close to something and you can hear it ring before it rings? Like on your computer, if you have something with headphones on, you can hear it go.
No, maybe.
The next you know, your phone will ring.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I don't know. Maybe that might have happened at some point in my life.
You'll hear it come in.
I'm not sure.
No
is it on you?
No Diddy.
Yeah, right. Yeah. This thing with the Diddy questions.
The role of storytelling in your music.
Oh man, that's all that I do.
Let's do a 2-for-1. Okay. Incorporating traditional instruments into your modern music at the same time of using the role of storytelling in your music. So live instrument and your storytelling within that, because I'm sure that plays a part.
Okay, so live instruments, I haven't used a lot of live instruments in my music. I think maybe at one point, like the first one, somebody came in with a guitar. My first song, somebody came in with guitar. I am looking to do more live shows with instruments, right? You know what I mean? Like, so vibrations, I have a band for it and everything like that. And
sometimes it's dope just to have a live drummer.
Right.
I seen that it was just a drummer and everything else was just being played on like a the DJ MP3.
Yeah.
And it just tore it up, bro, because he was going with it, but he was doing his own thing and he
Right.
was performing. So like,
well, they used to do that at Status nightclub, you know what I mean? And
That's dope.
we were performing. I was performing up there a lot, and they would have a DJ, you know, and then they would have to do, you know, hitting the drums. And one time they slowed down PIMP so bad, bro, and I still did it, but that song took like 5 minutes. I was like, this song is
like,
I said,
that song's hard, but it's
right,
long.
like,
Like,
right,
that's why it's PIMP. It's
right.
long and hard.
I was
baby.
like, I said,
Come here, the magic stick.
right. Oh, once I come twice, you know what I'm saying? Like, so
that song's called PMP. It's supposed to be long and hard.
Right, exactly.
It's
Right. You know what I'm saying? I got the magic stick. You know, we still need to get 50 on a remix of that. Maybe you could do that too. See, K-Trey about to put a whole lot of mixing and everything together. You know what I'm saying? Like as far as these beats and stuff.
Oh man.
Eventually.
Yeah,
Eventually, we're gonna get to it. We ain't in no rush. So, let's talk about our collaborations.
Like ours?
Yeah. Let's talk about our collaborations a little bit. Let's see.
Let me see, where we at? Okay, I see here.
So our collaborations. So let's talk about. We already talked about the first time we connected and our session and everything like that. When was it that you realized that you and I, as artist and producer, had something special as far as like, you know, to offer to the industry?
What was that place called, bro? We got a picture together at that event. What was that place called?
Is it Riverside?
I think it was
Morgan's Tavern?
I think it was in San Bernardino. So okay, I can't think of the place, but obviously we did a lot of shows together. We started bouncing off of each other's like networking skills and everything like that. Man, I don't know that place, but it was you're performing there, and I was performing there, but we didn't know each other were performing there. We both knew the person that was hosting the event. We knew the DJs that were going to be there. Like obviously we knew the people that were doing it,
right.
but we didn't know each other were performing there. And I think you hit me up and was like, "Hey, what are you doing tonight?"
Right.
And I'm like, "Oh, I'm gonna be doing something. I'm busy. Why? What are you doing?" He goes, "Oh man, I'm gonna be doing something."
Right.
You know, in San Bernardino, and I was like, "Oh, dope! I'm doing it in San Bernardino too." And you're like, "Is it gonna be this place?" I can't remember the place, bro.
Right.
And I was like, "Yeah, we're gonna go there." And that's when I pulled up with my baby mama before she was my baby mama.
Right.
We sat there. You had the I'm not a salty.
Don't be a salty bitch. Oh,
you're
talking about Riverside, right?
I thought it was San Bernardino because that's where I had her meet me.
Oh, okay.
It was San Bernardino. It was
okay. I wore that shirt a lot though after Riverside.
That place, bro?
You're talking about I think I know what you're talking about, but
had the gate and everything.
Yeah. It was the gate outside.
When we showed up, we were the first two there.
Right.
The artists.
Right.
And
we ended up not performing, right? Did we perform?
So.
There was like something happened. We didn't perform, or it was some BS.
But we were out there networking.
Right.
I had my CDs, you had your CDs,
right?
And we were just out there like.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. No, that was in Pomona, and that was for the. That was when I was dropping the record. I was with that studio. And they didn't do nothing. They had all kind of people at that studio. Warren G. They had all kind of people. Man, they didn't do nothing to promote that. And it's not their fault that everything happened the way it happened. But we still went out there and networked.
The place was packed. What was the place?
Right.
It was off of Waterman. Like
what?
The place was packed. It was a good turnout, but
right.
I don't think we performed.
Right.
Like
okay.
we were supposed to, and I don't think we did because something was going on with microphones, and we're pissed off at the DJ because the DJ was supposed to be I think it was like Freddie Fresco for 99.
Right. Oh, right. I remember that. Yeah,
so he was
yeah.
there, but he didn't have no mics. And,
right.
And I think it was through Tim Kubo, and
right.
Like, it was what was that place called, bro?
I can't remember. I know what you're talking about though. It was it was like something Margaritaville or something. No, I don't know. No. But anyway, yeah. So back to what you were saying. So that was when you realized.
That's when I realized I was like, okay, me and this dude can really do something together. I'm like, we're just chilling that whole night. We're talking, and you had your CDs, I had my CDs. Everybody there was kind of like, who are these guys? Oh, you guys are performers. We're like sitting down with people.
Right.
Remember, we were like, we sat down. There was one of my buddies there that did a little marketing and stuff like that with Tim. Those people that you knew that were there, so we all kind of knew everybody there. So we were just kind of like, we'll sit at this table and we're chilling, having a few drinks, networking with somebody. You're over here networking with somebody. Then boom, boom. We're just, all over that whole party doing stuff. And I was just like, bro, it was. But every time we did something, it was like you over here, me over here. Do something. We'll link up, smoke. Boom, go over here, link up, smoke, drink, boom, boom. So it's like we kept coming back to each other. So I was like, bro, this is like a real team thing. But we already had that history, or that type of relationship through him at radio. So we already knew, like, hey, so what you doing? I think that's the night where we're broke. I was broke because I didn't sell anything. Something happened where I didn't sell anything. And remember, we went to the gas station. And I was like, bro, like, I don't know, we needed gas and stuff. Because we didn't perform. We were supposed to get paid. It was like all this stuff that happened. And remember, you're like, bro, you better get out there and
sell the CDs, right? Bro. He did. He went out there and made a quick $40. Like, you know what I mean? Went out there and was like, boom, boom. He was like, I got like 4 CDs. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, shoot, you know what I'm saying? Like, bam. And people was bumping. They was like, okay, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, for sure, you know what I mean?
Like, it was like 2, 3 in the morning after the event. Like, that was that night. Like, it was just like.
It's all about the approach, you know what I mean? He was out there, hey, look, I'm K-Trey. Ooh, here go my CD. I'm trying to get 10 for it. And I mean, you approach somebody like, hey, look, you that guy, and you got that confidence. They might spend a little money on you. You never know.
Yeah, it does like that. That's why I said a lot of that also played a big part. And I'm trying to see. I could have swore I had a photo, bro.
I would say for me, when I realized like we had something dope to offer to the industry, was All Booties Matter. That was when I was like, oh, hold up. You know what I'm saying? Because we had already did work together as far as, being out there and hustling and grinding and everything like that. And I always saw that you showed up, which was amazing. You know what I mean? I was like,
he came to me back with the feedback. I didn't even know. I just made the beat and and we did the song and you're like, yeah, it was dope. Then you just came back like, bro, you have no idea.
Like, you don't know what's happening with this song, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's what a producer wants from an artist. You know what I mean? To actually go out there and do something with the beat, but. So we had already been working and everything like that, and so I seen you kind of out there. I mean, we were handling our business and everything. One of the biggest things was you were always showing up. You know what I mean? Whenever I called you, you didn't flake. You didn't come up with some BS excuse. You know what I mean? Like, oh, why you couldn't make it or anything like that. And so I was like, okay, yeah, I can definitely work with this guy. But when you made All Booties Matter and College Girls, that was, bro, I was like, oh no, we got something to we have something to offer, not just working together, but like
I actually first
because I never used your beats before, like, you know what I mean? I was like, why? I was like, look, my career is going good, you know what I mean? I just did PIMP, it was going great. I said, K-Trey, why the hell don't I have any of your beats? You know what I mean? And so we made a deal for some beats, and I was like, ooh, look, All Booties Matter going crazy, you know what I mean? College Girls going crazy, like. And so those are 2 of my best beats. That's why I said we have something to offer to the industry, not only as a.
It was This Day.
Oh, that was I think that was in Pomona. Look, show the camera.
I don't know if you guys can see that. Me and Mike Swagger, we were just out there grinding.
Yeah, don't be a salty bitch.
This was posted in 2016, April
2016. 24th.
Wow.
April
24th, 2016.
Damn, that's been a minute.
and we known each other for like a few years before then.
Right. Yeah, it's been a minute. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Send me that. We'll post that. I haven't seen that picture forever. I don't have my damn Instagram no more, so it was probably on there.
Yeah, it was a while ago. So it was the Hood Rich mixtape, and it was your Mike Swagger LP.
Yeah. Wow. Damn.
it was that night. We were just out there, just grinding. It was us, and then we got pissed off about something because I almost got mixed up of another time we went to Sevilla's.
Right.
We went to go party at that the Gentleman's Club.
Right.
Because that was a time too where it was something that happened, but it was your performance. Right. With that guy, but something happened at this event where we just didn't perform. I think it was the mics, and we're mad because we're like, dude, this is like a 99.1 DJ.
Right. Yeah, they all were. They all were at some point. But I think it's on you.
Let me see. Let me go do this. I knew I had it in there somewhere, but So let me see the collaboration. We're on collaboration.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about how did I? So we talked about the first session. What that was like. That was with me, you, and White Boy Swag.
Yeah.
So. I'm about to answer a question I was supposed to ask you. But then you pretty.
Well, I mean, we can banter about it. I mean, no,
because
matter.
you pretty much said it. It was like the moment that was sparked between both realized that like we're about to shake the game up.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that was pretty much All Booties Matter.
Oh yeah, man! All Booties Matter. Like that. That's probably besides Vibrations. That's my number one song.
Well, honestly, because All Booties Matter. Like these two songs are doing good.
Right.
So it's All Booties Matter and College Girls.
Mm-hmm.
But I think College Girls for us
right.
was the one where we're like
College Girls
change the game, and then COVID-19 happened.
College Girls for us was the better in the club.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Wasn't it?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
So
like
we're reaching out like with the College Girls, we're like, dude, this is never gonna play out.
Right.
It could be known through all types of different colleges. We're representing all the colleges. And, you know, there's always gonna be girls in colleges.
Right.
And so like this is gonna be dope. And then COVID-19 happened.
Right.
You know?
Right.
We couldn't like hit these spots. And
right.
That song kind of sat and it was only listened to.
Right.
Not necessarily. I mean, I'm not saying you didn't perform it.
Right. Oh yeah, definitely. I still do.
Yeah,
you know
we did perform it, but from the general start when we did the song,
right,
our minds were like, bro, we're gonna tear the game
right with this one. Yeah, and it still is. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we can still do that.
No, we still have opportunity with that one, and I already told you what's going on with that. So there's still a lot of action with that, a lot of action. So, yeah.
So how would you describe the energy between you and Smack?
You and Smack. Who the
you and Swagger in the studio? Controlled chaos or symphonic genius? We never really bumped heads in the studio though. So
no, not really. I mean, I think it would be more symphonic genius. One of the things you helped me with is my singing. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like when I was singing and everything like that, I was still kind of, even though I was practicing my vocal cords and everything like that, I was still kind of singing, I think, from my stomach, or singing from my chest, right?
Yeah, you're singing from like your nose.
Yeah, like singing from my nose. You know what I mean? Like I wasn't singing like.
You weren't projecting.
Yeah, I wasn't projecting from my gut, and so I was in there and I was doing my stuff, and even though I did okay with the other producer on Vibrations and everything like that, and the AKA the One album, I still didn't have that.
Yeah, you notice the difference between someone else when they just let you do it.
Right, and so that producer in particular was good at making sure I was on time, authenticity, and all that stuff, but didn't know the vocal breath like that, as you told me. And then once I started taking that deep breath and going. And that's when I worked with you on, I can't remember what it was, and then I went back and did You're My Ecstasy, and it was completely different. You know what I mean? Like, because I went back to that producer, I was working on something, you were like, hey, like, we just did something random. I think we worked on what was it, paper airplanes, right? So we worked on that, and that was in between me doing the AKA the One album.
When we did that song,
right, yeah,
we were faded when we did that song.
And that was
you could hear it.
Yeah, right. You could definitely hear it. You could definitely still got to release that. By the way,
I think we gotta just redo it.
Yeah, just redo the whole thing. I was in there. I was like, hippity, foo, fag.
But honestly, the way we are right now is how we are in the studio.
Right. Yeah, no, we have a lot of fun. But I learned how to utilize my breath in that, and that's what allowed me to do You're My Ecstasy so well and Vibrations, because those two songs came after that. So that was actually definitely genius.
Yeah, we definitely collide, or no, not collide. We definitely go with the flow of the vibe in the studio.
Absolutely.
Once we play a beat, Mike Swagger hears it and he'll be like, "Oh, I picture this." And it won't say no words, but he'll something like this, and have one or two words in it, and this and that. I hear those one or two words, I'll fill in like three other words, like the next okay, we can talk about this, and now we'll come out. With the whole section.
We did Jock My Swag. We sat there and did that hook. I was like, okay, and we like, that's how I do shit. Like if I feel it,
boom, we got a hook now. Right, just this write our verses.
Right. I was like, okay, hold on. I did the same thing with Mike Louie on we did what y'all smoking on, and it started because the one of the producers said, I think it was 6 Mob. He said, I bet y'all can't do none of this. Or it might have been the dude that on the beat. He said, I bet y'all can't do none of this. And I was already working on it. I was like, what? You know what I mean? Like, and so, and then what happened is I was already kind of like, I had the cadence to it or whatever. And then this girl came in the studio and she's like, hey, what y'all smoking on? and then so exactly, you know what I mean? We were like, bye, Felicia. And so Mike Louie, he said, get your out with your smoking ass out here. He was like, I smoke alone. And I sat there and I said, bitch, what y'all smoking on? I said, oh, okay, I got it. It was just like that. He was like, man, that's how some of the best songs happen. But no, definitely a good flow. So let me see.
Okay.
Now, let me see. I'm gonna ask you about All Booties Matter. So let's see. Now, All Booties Matter. That one felt like a cultural moment disguised as a banger. What sparked that concept? I guess that one's mainly for me. That would be more.
Wait, that what?
It says, okay, so All Booties Matter. That one felt more like a cultural moment disguised as a banger. What sparked that concept?
I mean, we had the Black Lives Matter thing going on.
Right.
You know, then there was people saying, well, all lives matter.
Right.
And then, you know, obviously not getting the point of why we were saying Black Lives Matter.
Right.
You know, then you had people coming in and just like, well, you know, Natives' lives matter too.
Right.
And
Everything
everything mattered. Okay, well, all booties matter.
Right.
Big booties, little booties, skinny booties.
Right. Pretty much, you know, I mean, that's why I wrote it was, you know, it was kind of like, you know, you had Black Lives Matter, you know, and then you had All Lives Matter, and people were going fighting back and forth and that, and it was just like, you know, and then this, that, and I was like, you know what, you know, all booties matter. And at the time, you know, it was a big topic because all these girls didn't have all these BBLs yet, right? You know what I mean? But as writing the song, you know, I wrote it about
it wasn't until the stimulus check started coming.
Right. After 2020, then they all had it, right? But it was this whole thing. It was this whole cultural divide about, you know, BBLs and natural women, then black versus white, and like all that stuff. So I feel like, you know,
it brought them together because we were talking about like females.
Right, and you just so it's like everybody shake their ass. Like I don't care about none of that. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Small, skinny, tall, you know, short, fat, whatever. You know what I mean? Like
cottage cheese.
Cottage. No, I said Jello booty. I didn't say college. I said college. I didn't say cottage cheese. I said Jello booty.
No, I'm saying like I'm just
right.
You know,
maybe
I wasn't on that.
That's
song.
what I know. You just said now we gotta do the remix, right?
Well, I was on that song. I was like flat booty, cardboard booty, cottage cheese booty.
Right.
Booty, buff booty.
Right.
I'm talking about, you know, girls going into the gym, bro.
You said tough booty, buff booty. Hey, look,
girls that work out booty.
I told you. Look, we still have a lot to do. Like we got to go back on some of the things that we've done. And
but I'm just saying it now. But you know, if I put the flow into it, it ain't gonna sound as ditty as it did.
Right. We definitely got to go back on some of the things that we've done, and like, you know what I mean. I think a lot of it's still relevant.
Rough booty, scruff booty.
Rough booty, scruff booty, buff booty. Oh hell no. Oh man, that's
itty booty, stinky booty, booty. I think of all booties matter.
Right. Oh
man,
man,
that shit stink like shit matter.
Oh man, stinky booties. No, that's out. That's
bleach booties.
Right, bleach booties. Okay,
Brown.
I can do that. That's Beverly Hills booty. You know what I'm saying? That's Beverly Hills booty. Definitely.
Now you start naming cities.
Right. Beverly Hills booty. Definitely. Hey, look.
Booty.
Right. We about to make a remix of that.
So
I
all
tell
booties
you.
matter. Different states, countries, continents.
Right. We definitely about to make a remix of that. Is it on you?
Yeah.
We're gonna ask a couple more questions. We're gonna wrap up. We've been running for about an hour now, so we're gonna ask a couple more questions and wrap. And then I'm going to Whiskey Babes tonight. We're gonna be there with DJ Gibby.
I'm gonna try to pull up.
Okay.
I'll try.
Bet.
I just need to get a few dollars, but
bet.
Try to pull up. Hold on, let me see what we got here. I'm gonna make up a question.
So yeah, Whiskey Babes tonight with DJ Gibby. We're gonna be performing live. K-Trey's gonna try to pull up. I know there's a couple other artists, and we're gonna be promoting this tonight for DJ Gibby and doing a commercial because he wants to help artists just like us. DJ Gibby has been huge in our life and in our careers as a DJ that pulled up and made sure that we had the great sound when we didn't have the money. You know, when things were just starting off, and you know we were trying to use a little 12x12 speaker, and the West Coast bad boy said, "Nah, y'all have some talent. I want to be there to shape you guys to be artists of this industry and everything like that. So definitely make sure you shout out to DJ Gibby and pull up to Whiskey Babes and show him some love when he's over there DJing. We'll be over there again tonight and having a lot of fun. So we'll see you there.
Yeah, we can go with the looking forward.
The looking forward?
Because we talk about the past. We kind of talk about like where we went from now. I mean, obviously we went our paths.
You know, honestly, and
like looking ahead, you know.
I'll say this with a lot of chills, and that means my vibrations are really high about what I'm about to say, so it's gonna happen.
Okay.
Okay. All right. You know what I mean? Like, I know because this is how it's going, and this is how my team works. You know what I mean? Like, we work on high vibrations, and we don't say things that we don't mean. You know what I mean? Like, and we move really quickly. I feel like you and I are going to do something major for the West Coast. You know, you as my producer and beat maker, you know what I mean, and really focusing on my sound, because you have already kind of started doing that, you know what I mean. You were kind of like starting to shape my sound and things like that, and you know, start making some Mike Swagger type beats, and
you know, I literally had beats that said Mike Swagger type beats,
right? You know what I'm saying, like right, so
right.
Somebody on some Mike Swagger type beats. So
he got mad. He was like, "What's that Mike Swagger type beat?" I was like, "It's a beat that's like that." He goes, "Is it mine?" I'm like, "I mean, it's open. It could better be mine. It's a Mike Swagger type beat."
Right. I'm like, "Who's that?" You know what I'm saying? Like, so, but no, I feel it, you know, when we hammer down, you know, in the near future, you know what I mean, that we're gonna have a lot to offer the West Coast, because, you know, stuff like All Booties Matter, College Girls, you didn't do vibrations, but, you know, I'm sure you can do stuff like that, no problem. You know, once you start really hankering in on my sound. And also another thing is I said you and I collaborate very well together on records.
Very easy,
you know what I mean? Like, very easy and very well on records. The girl I was with up in Montana hanging out, you know, investing in my music and everything like that, said the same thing. She was like, you and him actually collab very well. And I was like, yeah. I said I think we missed a big opportunity by never doing a double record. Yeah, or do a
I
record.
thought we were supposed to. Weren't we supposed to?
I don't know.
Not a double record.
Not a double record,
but it was
yeah.
going to be like a collaboration.
Right, a collaboration record. So I think that's that's definitely still going to happen. You know what I mean?
6 songs, 3.
Right.
Boom.
Right, exactly. And so, but yeah, I think we're going to do something really big for the West Coast. We're both from LA, you know what I mean, the LA County area, you know, and you know, coming up with our own sound. We're not like, you know, everybody else is, you know, not like us, right? We're not, no, we ain't like them. You know what I'm saying? We're not like them. We're actually completely different in a lot of ways. And I want to bring that to the forefront. And we have some people that are looking at it, so we're going to keep doing that.
Yeah, we got, I got a lot of songs that I'm ready to come out with that's just been archived.
Right.
You know what I mean? I got at least about 50 songs, bro.
Yeah, and bring some of these legends to some of our stuff. You know what I mean? I get a lot of people, you know, they go straight for the legends and they want to sound like them. It's like, I don't want to sound like you. You know what I mean? I might get on one of your beats, but I'm gonna sound like me, or bring them something else.
That's what's good at what I'm trying to do with the songs that I have,
right?
Because I got a lot of songs, but there's a lot of songs that don't have hooks or
right.
verses, right?
Right.
And then, you know, when I did the song, I wasn't having this person in mind, but once I got to meet like certain legends and stuff, then I have communication with them. I'm like, dude, yeah, I can get this person on this song now,
right?
You know, and this will fit. So I never made the song intentionally thinking that I'll have someone like that on there. But, you know, like K-Dub is one of them,
right?
You know, getting him on the track, and so all these songs, I'm like, I'm sending emails out.
Right.
People are like in North Dakota, New York,
right.
They're just sending me verses back. So I'm not doing anything new. I'm just having them fill in those blanks on those hooks and verses, and I'm gonna be dropping all those songs.
Right, there you go.
So you better make sure you catch a verse.
Yeah, absolutely. You already know. I mean,
like we still have Paper Airplanes. I'd rather redo that and kind of do it a little different, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. But send me out. We'll sit down and see what else you got. You know what I mean? Like, see if I'll fit on anything else. That's what I got to go do with. I'm gonna be meeting up with Sugar Freeze DJ Bobby B. Real cool, chill dude, and you know, he might have some stuff for me to, you know, some open verses. So that's always a beauty when people want you on a verse.
Yeah, I'm gonna see what I can do tonight, just because I get up in the morning.
Got you. Okay, so let me see. I'll ask you one about College Girls. Did you know when you laid that beat down, it was gonna go nuclear? Now I know the song hasn't really gone big, but like, you know, we know the potential of it.
Yeah, I can confidently say yeah. Were you there when I made it?
Yeah, I was helping. We were going back and forth on how it was going to go.
You literally sat there and you said, I want to beat with
trumpets.
Trumps.
Yeah.
With trumps.
Yeah, with trumps.
I want because I named it Trump.
Right.
And you're like, I want to beat with trumpets, and I was like, oh, I think I have one, and I played one for you, and you're like, that one's dope. Right. It wasn't College Girls. It wasn't that one.
Right.
But you're like, that one's dope. That's it. You know what I mean? And you're just like, man, imagine having a like a drum roll, like like what's that movie with
like drumline,
right.
He
goes, that drumline. He goes, I can just picture that. Right. And I was like, oh well, I got another one, and then I went and it said Trump 2.
Right.
And you're like, oh, Trump 2. It was this one, and I played it, and that's when you hear the. And you're like, woo!
I literally did a video like that too. Like I remember being on my Instagram, like I was like, hey, y'all hear that? Y'all hear that right there? I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Then from there, because it had the drum line in it, but then it was that breakdown that didn't have it yet. The breakdown does that.
You know what I can't wait for on that one? You know what I can't wait for on that one? When ESPN picks that one up and they just play it in the background. And I already talked to. I mean, I'm not gonna say too much.
They can
but
play just the instrumental.
Right. They could just just the instrumental because we own that. You know what I'm saying? Like well I own it, but I'm still gonna give you some. I'm still gonna give you some writers credit on it.
That's just the same as playing the song.
Right. Right. Yeah. Absolutely. So. But yeah, no, I mean that one you play the instrumental, man, and we'll get some notoriety on that, and go wherever the hell we need to go on that.
Yeah, because once we actually
they hit the fucking stage with that, with like a major stage with College Girls.
Yeah, you gotta bring out a drum line.
Right, that's what I'm saying. The whole thing can be built so big. You know what I mean? We could have a whole drum line on stage.
Have a freestyle,
going
crazy
for
the first 10 minutes.
Right,
of the show.
Going stupid crazy. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, man. Like,
then college girl.
Man, we could do 3 songs at a festival and fuck the whole show up. Mm-hmm. But, okay. All right, cool. So we're gonna wrap. Ask me. We'll do one more question each, and then we're gonna wrap.
We're gonna rap for them.
No, I'm gonna rap off this motherfucking microphone. I mean, excuse me. You know what I'm saying? I gotta be not cussing on my own stuff.
He said, "Yeah, we're gonna rap up."
Bop boop boop.
Like, he just spit Morse code.
Right. I know, right? For all my brothers out there, boop boop bop. Right. What did I just say? You know what I'm saying? Beep beep beep.
Is there a full project in the works?
Ooh. Yes. Yes, there actually is. So I just got an exclusive beat, and now that we're kind of working, and we're working on something new, I would definitely like you on this album. It's really, really important to me. It's really, really important. I think this is gonna be my legacy album. You know what I mean? Like,
your masterpiece.
Yeah.
Every artist has to go.
Yeah, yeah. You know what I mean? Like, I was trying. I made AKA the One as a. It was just like the emotion, like, I was going through. I wanted to feel love at the time. I went through like a bad breakup, and like, I just wanted to feel like love, right? You know what I mean? And so I'm like, let me write about love, and let me, try to find love wherever I'm finding it through these, different scenarios, these different women that I'm talking to, and and draw that out. You know what I mean? Because that's what I wanted to feel. This one, I feel like this is my legacy piece, and this is gonna be like, everything about who I am, where I came from, you know what I mean? And like nothing about the industry, I'll tell you that, you know what I mean? Yeah. This is all about me. Yeah. It's all about me. And
usually when it comes to that point, that's the one where everybody's like, hey bro, where you been at?
Right. Pretty much, you know what I mean? Well, it almost started happening already with AKA the One. Mm-hmm. People are like, whoa, hey, what?
Yeah.
What's this? You know what I mean? Like, Mike Swagger LP, I talked a lot of crap, it's more directed at the industry about, how I'm a dope artist, but also a little bit where I came from. After Dark was, hey, let's party. This is who I am right now. Like, this is what I'm going through. Let's be trendy. And AKA the One was like, hey, kind of a little bit showing a little bit more of that, heart on the sleeve, and, hey, man, I'm human, and, yes, I sing, and, I feel love, and, all that stuff. And this one's, again, like you said, my masterpiece. And so hopefully it'll be a part of that. I already have some beats I picked out, and, ready to start working.
Yeah, definitely. The projects I got, I mean, I won't have necessarily a project, but like I said, those archives of songs,
right?
Those ones are the ones that I'm releasing a lot of, everything that's been going on for the last few years.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I'm just like releasing a lot. And it's not about anybody specifically.
Right.
Just about where did everybody go.
Right.
You know what I mean? I was always there, like helping people and doing stuff like that. But when this came around, a lot of people disappeared.
Right.
So it's kind of like
that happens in this industry.
Yeah, it's not necessarily talking about anyone individually, but it's just talking about this is where I'm at now,
right?
Because everybody wasn't around. You know, so.
I think that's important. I think that's an important statement, especially if you've been gone for a little bit, to address those concerns. You know what I mean? And address stuff like that. And then sometimes those people look at themselves and say, "Look, where have I been?" You know what I mean? But they
don't
recognize.
Get me wrong. The songs in there are definitely gonna be catchy. It's not like
right. Like, it's not like a sad album or nothing like that. It's like
where did you go? I needed you.
Where did you go? I love you so much. Hey, look, when I wrote one-liners,
sometimes in my life I wonder where you are.
Where you are. Look, but listen, when I wrote one-liners, which you guys will, it's on my TikTok and everything like that, but you guys eventually get a video. That's what I was trying to do. I said, how can I make this where it's dope and it doesn't sound like, I'm sitting here whining. And, so if you can master that, then that's amazing. Anybody you're specifically excited about being on there? On the album? That you can talk about?
Dude, it's just everybody that's on there. I mean, there's no like... I mean, so far K-Dub is like one of the major people. I know.
Right.
I know. I do have a
from Death Row, right?
No. He's from Long Beach.
Right. CPT Death Row, or no? That's Compton.
No. So I'm like trying to. So it's like besides him, there is like people that I do want on the project. I mean, I'm in the works of trying to get D3 the Rockstar on one of them.
Okay.
And he's another Long Beach plug, pretty much in the music.
Okay. I know he's well connected.
Yeah,
so
DPG and stuff like that. Then, like first, I'm trying to get the foundation. I'm reaching out to all the people that I did music with that I still work with. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So like I have songs with you that like Paper Airplanes that we can redo and maybe do another one for the project kind of thing. And then I got my boy P Skinny from Banning, the homie Young Assassin from Ohio. Mm-hmm. K-Dub. He's from Long Beach.
Oh, Dub.
Yeah,
okay, I thought you said Dub. So I said I don't think there's no other K-Dub.
It's K-Dub. Okay. And I'm trying to get D3 on there. I'm trying to get you on there. My brother's on there.
Right.
There's a couple new artists that people's never heard me work with. Of course I got Wolf, I got Lloyd. Right. So. Yeah, I'm just throwing everybody on there and getting songs and stuff. There's, like I said, there's artists that people haven't heard yet. Right. There's people that they know of, and there's gonna be legends. I just don't know quite who yet. Right. It's all about that business move first.
It kind of sounds like a Chronic 2001 album. It's just like it's a lot of like homies and stuff, and then like some big names. That's
pretty much what it's gonna be like. It's like you're gonna hear songs that I'm not on.
Right.
But I made the beat and I engineered it.
Right.
You know what I mean? You might hear me and they're like,
Right.
Like it's the Dre. Just
as long as you're not on there, like take that.
No, I don't say take that. Like
take that. Anyway, y'all, man, that's it for us today. I think we had a lot of fun. This is artist and producer K-Trey. Can you tell them where to find you and your music?
Man, just Google the name K-T-R-E-Y, or you can just type in Mike Gorey. YouTube, Spotify, iTunes, Apple Music, TikTok,
absolutely,
Facebook, Instagram.
Absolutely.
K-Trey, the real K-Trey, K-Trey Visuals, K-Trey. I mean, I know a lot of people will search up K-Trey and they'll start seeing NBA Youngboy, but
but his name ain't K-Trey. You know what I mean?
I'm the original.
Right. Right. Okay.
I think their K-Trey is like a hood.
Right. Oh, okay.
I am the hood.
Right. This is the hood, right? Okay. He said it here first. You know what I mean? When young boy come after him, you know what I'm saying? Remember, I didn't say that shit. No, but anyway, so we had a lot of fun here today. Make sure you go follow K-Trey, man. We got a lot of exciting stuff coming up as far as projects and working together, and we're really hoping to see you guys out there, at our shows. Make sure you follow DJ Gibby. Tonight we're going to be at Whiskey Babes, and we're going to be shooting a commercial for DJ Gibby, and other artists come out there. do your thing. Again, Gibby helped us as young artists to grow and to come out there and give us a quality sound when people were looking at us. And
Gibby's my guy, bro. That dude came to every show that I asked him to do for me. Like, and he will come to shows that, like, because you know you're doing it.
Right.
You're doing a show. He didn't, you know, I didn't get an invite, but you know I'm coming.
Right, absolutely. and we celebrate DJ Gibby, the West Coast bad boy, Nick Cannon's cousin, you know what I mean? Like, and you know, but also out here showing young artists love and making sure that we grow to be who we need to be, and shaping us to be professional artists in this industry. So make sure you stop by Whiskey Babes tonight and any other night that DJ Gibby is spinning. And if you're an artist, make sure you go over there and get you some game so you can go on and be just like this man right here and myself, going to the top of the industry and the top of your field. I'm Mike Swagger, aka The One. We gonna end this live.
It's your boy K-Trey, behind the scenes of everything that's hot. We in here.
I appreciate you. The One Man Band Man,
One Man Band Man.
and aka The One. Let's get it. As soon as I can end this damn live, we gonna. Ooh. Is that Gibby coming in here?
Yep, with a fresh plate, and they've been smoking weed, so I know they got the monkey.
You see me right here, look at eyeballing it, right?
You ain't even on the camera. He can't even see the camera. You got to get him by the camera, Gibby.
They all got